issue in the life of Nigeria. We're discussing football. We're discussing the failure of Nigeria to be at the World Cup holding next year in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And it's the second time back-to-back that Nigeria is not going to do World Cup. 2022, Nigeria was not in Qatar, and we thought after our failure to go to Qatar, we'll be able to make it to United States, Mexico, and Canada. So that's not the story for us. At the moment, Sunday was another tragedy for Nigeria. In Rabat, Morocco, the Super Eagles failed to fly against Leopards of DR Congo, crashing out on penalty shootout. We have three gentlemen who are going to look at this issue this morning, and we've gone very deep to look at them from the various sectors of the football economy. We have in the studio with me this morning, first on my right is Tajuddin Disu. We used to call him Gaddafi in those days. Defense stalwarts of Abiola Babes, Flying Eagles. In fact, he was a member of the Nigerian under-20 team that first qualified for the World Cup in Mexico in 1983. Tajuddin Disu, welcome to New York.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here this morning. We also have with us this morning Alhaji Demola Ibrahim. If you are a nightcrawler in Abeokuta in the 80s, you know what I'm talking about. But of course, he's a man of many parts. He's also a football businessman. He's also part of the crew this morning. Alhaji, good morning.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. We have somebody who also drove in all the way from Lagos. We have to thank him so much for that. He's a sports entrepreneur, Mr. Victor Gonzalo. Good morning, Mr. Gonzalo.
It's a pleasure to be here, sir.
Great to have you. Okay, let's start. Let's look at the game before we delve into the various segments of our failure not to be at the World Cup. We'll start from the game. Let's start with TJ. The game against DR Congo. Did you watch the entire 90 minutes?
I did.
Okay, no, not 120 minutes now, because we have to go into extra time, penalty shootout, and all of that. Now, what do you think went wrong? The moment we scored and they equalized, they took over the game completely in all departments. What do you think was wrong with the team that day? This was a team that beat Gabon 4-1, you know, before the game against DR Congo. Something must have actually gone wrong.
Well, thank you very much, Abiodun. I think that's a beautiful question. One thing I remember vividly is that, you know, compared to when we were playing, so many things has changed. The passion, the love for the game, putting on that green white, go there and do your best, you know, for the country. During our own time, everybody wanted to don that green white green jersey. Forget about the money. And it makes it so passionate for us that, you know, you want to represent Nigeria, you want to go there. That was our main target then, going there to represent the country, putting on the green, white, green. But now the reverse is the case. You know, so many things have changed from the administrators down to the players. In our own days, I remember vividly before Nigeria qualified for the first FIFA World Cup that Nigeria will raise its flag, was our set. I was in Babes Academy. We were all in school. St. Fimbas, from the goalkeeper, Wilfred Agbenevare, who was in Edopolo then. We have Ali Jeje from Jos. We have Oti Amishi from CKC Onisha. Paulo Koko from St. Fimbas. Myself, Tajuddin Disu from Babes Academy. Then we have additional from Oshun. Then we have Tyler Akolowanta from CMS Grammar School. Then later to St. Gregory's. Femi Olukoni from CMS, Shegun Olukoni from CMS.
The transition for you there was from secondary school.
I'm telling you, so there was process then. You know, it was from playing from local government to secondary school. Youth Fund then was so vibrant. Youth Fund was the Youth Sports Federation of Nigeria, who will go around and pick players and then later put them together, and Chief Abiola will now fund that team representing Nigeria. Go there. So the first trip we went, I remember, was 1982, of which I was part of that team. We went to Dallas, to Gotia, Sweden, to go and win the Gotia Cup for Nigeria, and we were still in school. And from there, we graduated to the Flying Eagles. So most of us who play for youth from then, that's why I said there was process then. You know, you graduate. And there's nothing like you have a godfather who will put into the national team, which is going on for some time now. Somebody will introduce you, the coach will put you into the team. And it wasn't like that then. Your skill, we put you in the national team. And that was what we did. And when we qualified, when we started qualifying Nigeria in the Junior World Cup, everybody saw it. So that was the first time Nigeria.
So should we say then that the quality of the game, of the players then, is far apart from what we have today?
Very, very far apart.
Okay, now we'll come back to you. Yeah. You mentioned the issue of money. Alhaji Ademola Ibrahim, you said regardless of money there, but I don't think it's regardless of money, because before the game against DR Congo, there was the issue of bonuses. You know, it caused a row, it was settled in the long run. And but did you think then that, or do you think that in a way had a psychological problem on the players or on the game that we saw against DR Congo?
To be honest with you, I think the whole process is messed up. You're asking big boys to come and play. What you want to give them, they make more than that week in, week out. So for you to pay them to play, you need to give them a whole lot of money. What we used to see as pride then is gone out of the window. And you can't blame these guys. There's nothing at stake. Yes, they want to play in the World Cup, and that's just it. In those days, in the days of my brother here, for you to play outside the country, you must have played a lot of games in your country. I can tell you for free that in England, you must have played like 65% of your, game for your national team. It's part of the prerequisites. So they have more than just the pride to play for. They are always trying to sell themselves to go abroad. Okay, but reverse is the case. These guys playing abroad, they really don't need us. Because, the money factor is not, really, really strong. And in our system, we still see football as just a game. We don't look at the economic aspect of it. I mean, for you to have a team in the UK, you must have a stadium to start with. You must have the money, the backing, everything. In Nigeria today, the states they pay you for playing. They put you there, they have the stadium, they have everything. So there's nothing at stake. So for us to go back and see the value of football, the way it should be done, we have to look at the economic aspect of it, which is the major.
Okay, so Mr. Victor Gonzalo, you've listened to Alhaji Ademola Ibrahim. He spoke about the fact that money is a crucial factor here. And in my own analysis too, I've also said that probably our problem is simply because of the context between Naira and other currencies, Naira and Euro, Naira and dollar and pounds, and all of that. I mean, as a father, your boy is aspiring to play football, and he has the opportunity of going to Slovenia, for instance, to make Euro, and he's earning less than 500,000 naira in Nigeria, playing for a local club side. Don't you allow him go? As a sports entrepreneur, is money not the driving force for you?
I think, thank you very much. I think to a large extent, we should begin to see football as a business beyond. Yes, I appreciate the fact that back in those days, people play for passion and all that. But today, football is big business, even in Nigeria here. So those things Alhaji talks about may not apply because you have a lot of football academies now. And then these scouts comes from abroad. They scout young guys and they take them abroad and they sign contracts. So the failure of the national team for me is a function of structural dysfunction. That is just the truth. It's not that we don't have the talents. It's not that we do not have what it takes to go to the World Cup. But you cannot you can't take a shortcut to success. I wasn't disappointed we're not going to the World Cup, I will not lie to you. Because from the outset, even going to the playoff, what if Eritrea had not withdrawn from the competition?
Yeah.
You wouldn't be talking about, even South Africa was deducted points.
Exactly.
The Super Eagles were simply not good enough. We were simply not good enough. DR Congo qualified for the playoff with 21 points. They only lost out of their group because they were in a group with a Senegal. Super Eagles qualified with 17 points, even after a point deduction to South Africa. So we should look at it. When we lost the ticket to the 2022 World Cup against Ghana at Abuja, when Ghana came here to draw against us, the party scored. You ordinarily would believe that, okay, we are missing out of a World Cup in a long time. We would have started preparing towards 2026. But what happened? We kept changing coaches. We have inconsistent player invitation and all that. There are no shortcuts to success.
Let me quickly take you back on one of the points you made. Academies,
Yes.
scouts, foreign scouts.
Yes.
As you speak, there is a foreign scout in Abeokuta. And if you go to MP Abela State Sports Arena, you find a foreign scout scouting players. But can't you also create a system where those players will not be scouted and taken abroad? That a system that will make our players stay here, the young ones stay here, and all of that. Because when I hear of academies in Nigeria, and I think they are not particularly coordinated. There are so many academies everywhere. In Abeokuta alone here, you can find one academy in Itoku, one in Itoku, another. Now, what is NFL creating standards for them? You don't think that's also an issue?
Those are part of the challenges you're talking about. It's become what Yorubas call Yoruba Ogiriwa. So, if you have some bit of money and you have a playing field where you can have these guys come around every Saturday or whatever to play. But the truth is, let's be honest with ourselves. Like we said earlier, football is business. So, if you have a player that a scout from abroad wants to take to, let's say, a club in Spain or any other part of Europe, you have a good contract in place, would you want to tie them down to Nigeria? Look at our league. Look at our league.
Okay, let's come. We're still coming back to the issue of football is business. That for me is the crux of the matter. Alaji, let's look at what Mr. Gonzalo raised. He raised the point of us being unstable in terms of coaches. We first had Yusuf Pesero, you know, I mean, the team's coaching were not actually improving under him. We went for Finidi George, you know, all in the space of 2-3 years. Now we have Eric Cher, you know, in charge. And, you know, for me, that's also part of the problem because if Cher didn't come, probably we'll not have even been talking about a playoff. What damage does instability in managerial appointments due to football teams beyond the national team?
I think I'm going to take you guys back to yesteryears. I'm glad my brother is here. If you look at all the teams that we've paraded in the World Cup, most of them are local grown. That later traveled abroad. You played together. You know, Nigeria can give you 10 national teams without blinking for the arrays of, you know, talents that we have. But the so-called, you know, academy are not helping Nigeria to grow at all. You know, because look at our local league. England will tell you that you must make sure that you play X amount of their citizens, in as much as there's so much money to be made there. Because they are concerned about having a good team. If they don't have those laws in place, there are players all over the world that can fill up all this, you know, premiership without using an English player. But they protected that because of the future. If we have 1,001 academy in Nigeria today, and all they're thinking about is shipping their players out of the country, How do we now have a good team?
But can you blame the academy owners? Can we blame them? They are in the game for business, just like you said.
Yeah, but the FA needs to put something in place.
Okay.
The FA needs to make sure that their primary interest is Nigeria. In those days, the caveat, the fact that before you can play international, FA must sign that you've played in this country, because going to another country means you're stealing another job that belongs to the citizen. So you have to be better. And how do you really tell a better player? In the country you're coming from, you have shown that you're special and you've played at the highest level. Those things are missing. We don't have heroes anymore. If you support stationary stores in those days, you will know all their players. If you support NEPA, you will know all the players. The rivalry helped the football to grow. When Abiola Babes joined, you see the pride that people in Abeokuta had. So these are the things we're talking about. It's not supposed to be all about money, money, money. Understand? These so-called football academies, are they feeding the local teams? Is it part of, okay, the scouts, we have good players, they have to, go into the local team, survive there, maybe play for a year or two.
We're in an era of technology now. I know. Our young ones know how much Osimhen, receives on a weekly basis, how much Iwobi receives on a weekly basis, and they also know how much an average player in the Yimba or Canopilas receive on a monthly basis.
Right.
And so, and they see the gap. They see the gap between the pay. You don't think that's also more, because I think the parents also have to come into this. Parents, I know a lot of parents who deliberately take their wards to academies because they want them transported abroad.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. What you're seeing here in terms of academy is what you see up there. A lot of players would graduate maybe with an Arsenal, and they will ship the player out to another country or another team to play, and when it's mature,
Okay,
they bring.
mature, okay,
We
yeah.
need to have all these things in place. It's very important, or else the best of us will be going to, abroad. Look at the team we have today. The team that we paraded for the World Cup, how many local players do you see there?
Okay, now we'll come back to that. Let's go to governance of the game. TJ, I know you know a lot about FA elections in states and all that, because football governance, sports governance is about those who also occupy those offices, And I believe that sometimes some of these things start at the state FA level, because those who even go to FA positions at the states, many of them don't even merit going there, and they are the ones that will determine those who go to the NFF. For you, I know the ex-footballers have had running battles with those on the other side, because the agitation for you has always been that those who didn't play the game don't deserve to run the game. But we've also seen some people who didn't play the game, who are lawyers, who are doctors, who are running the game fantastically. Is this still the same position for you?
I will tell you this, so just as I said earlier on that so many things have changed. Let's start from the administrators, even before we come to the players.
The players.
Administrators of these days, it's all about money, not about the development of the game. No two ways about it. Everybody is interested in that money, so nobody is really focusing in developing the game. That's why I said, number one, they even abandon grassroots football. And if you don't have a solid foundation, how can you have a solid building or good building? So that one destroy our football, because the foundation is been rotting for years now. Why? Because people who come in there to lead the team or to be the administrators of football or sports generally are people who are not interested in developing the sports. They are interested in what they're going to make. They are interested in the money. That is not two ways about it.
And it's not an open election, like an election that INEC conducts, for instance.
Exactly.
Election into the state FA, to the NFF is within that circle,
I remember one year like this, a couple of years back, long time, when I came back from the US to contest, for the chairmanship of Ogun State FA. Myself, Tunji, and the president, chairman, who is there, you know, 3 of us like that. And out of the 3 of us, he was the only one who has no clue or knowledge about sports. I know he sells Bob and he does his own personal business. No, I'm just saying it.
No, but
at the end of the day, because Pinnick wanted him there, even no election in Ogun State, and Pinnick put his name there. In fact, the commissioner for sports then, long time ago, I don't know.
Yeah.
There is
it Bob G?
not Bob G.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Okay.
Bob G. You know, from Lagos, you know.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, he went there. His name was there, right? Because Pinnick wanted it. They want people they will do business with. A lot of things that people don't know is that even the NFF, the players, present players playing. That's why a whole lot of NFF officials have players. They have their own. So they normally bring a stooge as a coach. People they will whine. They will tell you put this player, put that player, because they are all their players. They do business with the team. That's why now every time now look at our league. The league has been bastardized. No single player, they will not pick up. During our own time, we've come from our board, you sit on the bench. You can't even, because
I remember John Chidozie.
You can't play.
Chidozie came from England. You can't bench on the guy
You
right
can't.
we are John Fashanu.
Fashanu too.
Bench Rashidi Yekini.
Yes, all of them, you're right. They can't play because, you know, our league was so vibrant. We have vibrant administrators that really want to get the game go on. But the reverse is the case.
But we can't continue to blame the administrators.
No.
If ex-international, because I also know that there is division among the ex-internationals.
Yes.
You know, there is division.
Yes.
So not until you guys unify,
thank you,
or you become one united force, you can. That's the only time you can actually fight those that you claim that don't merit to run the game.
You are correct about that, and but this one is unfortunate that, you know, most of the ex-players too, you know, we are our own worst enemies. We are our own problem. Because you don't want to say the truth, because of what they want to eat, because these people, you know, go there and give them peanuts and give them and buy their conscience. As big as you are, I'm telling you, some of the ex-international does that every time.
How does it make you feel that even today, 2025, Nigeria does not even have confidence in a local manager? We keep going back to the class of '94. There is Egwavon has always been coming to rescue. You know, Egwavon, we've had Amunike, we've had Amokachi, we've had Stephen Keshi, late Stephen Keshi, Salisu, Yusuf, and the rest of them. But we had to go to a coach that coached who is partly Malian and France. So and in terms of the game, Eric Chell, in his playing, they didn't measure up to Finidi George or to Mutiu Adepoju. Yet he's the one coaching the biggest football nation in Africa.
Thank you. And that's exactly why I said the NFF, I'm telling you, NFF should be held accountable for most of the things that is happening to all these things. Number one, no, they don't bring the players to camp early to come and train. 2-3 days, you come to camp and then they go there and play. That's number one. They won't play well.
But that's not their point. That's not their problem, because these players are coming from their club sizes.
Yes.
And usually they're playing on a Saturday, for instance, and the clubs don't get to release them until around Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's natural that they get late to camp.
It's not good.
But we used to have, Mr. Gonzalez, we used to have that era in the past, that players also came to camp late. The era of Yekini, the era of his era, the era of Rashidi Yekini, of Stephen Keshi, and they still came late to camp, and they delivered. I remember the National Stadium in 1990 playing World Cup qualifier against Algeria. The team came late to camp, and the Algerians scored first inside the National Stadium. And the guys looked at each other's faces, one another's faces, and they said, yeah, you have to move. We won the game 4-1 eventually. Now, what has gone wrong? Against DR Congo, was it tactical inefficiency on the part of Eric Chell? Because the moment the equalizer came, they took over the game. You know, at the point I had sympathy for the defense line of Seni Ajayi, Calvin Bassey, Freddie Benjamin, and of course Zaidu on the left side, and of course in front of them, because that game could have ended embarrassingly for Nigeria, like 4-1 or 5-1, if not for the way those guys actually stood. So now, Did Chelsea get it wrong in that game? You know, or you think they were just overwhelmed?
I'll still go back to what I said earlier. The quality is lacking. Let's be honest with ourselves. How many of the Nigerian players we paraded that day play regularly for their clubs?
Great.
How many of our players have starters in their clubs? The quality has dropped. And I look at Egbon with pity, you know, because it's reminiscing. We are struggling to accept the present reality of things.
Exactly.
Your days are past.
Yeah.
Those are days where you have organic growth of footballers.
Yeah.
Now you have players that are like how do you call them? Catfish in ponds.
They use fertilizer on them.
You get so players that goes to academy to learn even how to trap the ball.
Exactly.
In your days from primary school, if you're coming from training, if you're coming from school, they throw a ball at you. The way you trap it and control, you know.
That's true.
So a lot has changed. Yeah. Nigerians are not really ready to accept that reality. The days of beating Burkina Faso 7-1, beating Congo 8-0 is past.
Yeah, that's true.
All these countries now have players abroad. Look at the Congo team. Most of them play abroad. So for me, I don't even think for the national team.
But look, Mr. Gonzalo, if the players of DR Congo play abroad, most of them play abroad, and our own players also play abroad,
the quality is different. That's what I'm saying.
why is the quality different?
Because they are more committed. They are more committed. They are better players. Take them one for one against each other.
But in our squad, we have current African Footballer of the Year and the immediate past African
George Weah was World Footballer of the Year from Liberia. You can have one player as an outstanding figure. Doesn't represent the fact that your country is the best in football.
Exactly, and Liberia didn't go to the World Cup.
Yes, they've never won an AFCON. The truth is that, see, the NFF is a cesspit of corruption.
Yes. So.
If the government in power are really interested in sports, they should declare a state of emergency in that place and damn whatever consequence FIFA or whatever will hit us with. Because the truth is, we kept recycling the same set of people from the under 17 to the under 21 to the under 23 to the senior national team. Nigeria used to be the contending force when it comes to age grade football. When last did we go to the under 17?
We didn't qualify for
Was that not where we got the likes of Kanu and the Seamen you were talking about, Ikleba and the rest of them? Where do you breed these talents from anymore? And for me, I do not see you having a foreign coach as a problem. It's not. Brazil is using as a lot.
England went to a German.
But the truth is that where is the sense of purpose from your administrators? That's where it starts from.
Sense of purpose, Alaji. Sense of purpose. Does this thing not radiate the entire Nigerian life? Because we are talking about sense of purpose. We don't have it in politics. We don't have it in the way we run the economy, our social life. And so if you're having it in football, is anything wrong? Is it not just a reflection of the society?
Of who we are. Alaji, you said it all. We deserve what we're getting right now.
Yes, sir.
That's just it. If we want to have a change, we need to have a change of attitude. Now, we need to come back home. Like my brother said, maybe we have a state of emergency. We don't need the government to make that pronouncement because that's what we have right now. We don't have good, on a good day, if these players coming from abroad came to meet a strong team and fight hard, like in the days of Keshi, because it's not because Keshi plays abroad, it's because Keshi knows that his jersey is not guaranteed.
Yes.
Understand? Because we have local players who are dying to go abroad, waiting to showcase their talent, fighting hard, you know, with their dirty old boot against your new polished boot. Understand? It's not about where you come from. Go to Isaleko today on the bridge, you'll see talents playing, you know, on the sand. And it's not easy to play on the sand. like, you know, Bad Beach Sands.
Exactly.
You see them playing fantastically. That was why I said to you that we can raise 20 national team. But the politics is number one problem. Number two, are we not using our local teams or local coaches when we were playing under 17, under 15, and we were doing fantastically well? We blend all our players here. We have our own system. We don't have that system anymore. We now rely on computer to give us the strategy that another computer can neutralize.
The state of emergency Mr. Gonzalo actually suggested, does it have to do with recapitalizing the Nigerian league? Because I remember very well, the banks were not doing well, you know, in those years, part of the past. For you to go into a banking hall, you have to take a tally number. Until recapitalization came, we went for ATM, now we have POS, and so the banks are even near your home now. You don't have to go out. You don't even, I can't even remember the last time I went to a banking hall. Now, Alhaji, is it not totally out of, is it not also out of in place for government in terms of putting that state of emergency in place to recapitalize the Nigerian football and say, okay, we're giving you so amount of money, like billions of naira, to run the league, because we can't deceive ourselves. As long as our league players are not earning, I know some league teams that are receiving as low as 100,000 naira per month as salary.
50, right.
So now, as long as you have a such situation, our players are going to be continually motivated to go abroad. You don't think so? You don't think we need that kind of decision?
First and foremost, you know, government has no business in business. Putting money out there means what?
But we have some let me sorry to cut in. We have some states that are also getting involved. Look at Oyo State, for instance, Sheyima Kede. Shooting Stars now, they have gate takings. Yeah. I think in a particular game, they made around 6 million naira from gate takings. Right. And Shooting Stars is really on top of, I think, second on the log. The governor came, gave them a new chairman in Lekon Salami Jr. Yeah. You know, made some little appointments and all of that. And we have a team that was struggling before, now doing well. That's the involvement of government. You don't
that's pretty good. But the question is this: how long do you think the government need to be feeding these guys and give them the sense of it belongs to us?
Okay, I think I agree with you.
See, the money that is supposed to be rotating in this football business has to come from private people. They must see it as a business. Understand? And, you know, go to some stadiums outside, you know, the popular countries like England. They don't have crowd, but they have television right. They have sponsorship deal. Sometimes you see a player in abroad earning 1 million. The club is only paying maybe a fraction of that. Sponsorship are paying the rest of it. Merchandising and all that. And that is our cry today. Some of us are waiting that Nigeria will qualify so that we can go to America and make money. I have my team waiting in Canada. Understand? Yeah. Merchandise are designed waiting to be signed.
You told me you already spent money. Now that money has gone down the drain.
Maybe we look for another team
to support.
Nigerians in America, they have like 500,000 active.
Canada
is about 200,000. I mean 200,000 active. Mexico, we don't have much, maybe 50,000 or thereabout. We've made all these calculations, what is coming in from this and that. It's all gone. And when people like us that are interested in international, you know, selling of our culture are feeling this bad. So what's up?
Mr. Gonzalo, what a bigger point.
Yes, I was going to say that, like Alhaji said, government has no business running football. The example you made of Oyo State, is it sustainable? So he spends his tenure and leaves. Another governor comes in that is not interested in football. What happens? It goes back to zero. Yeah. So what we need to do is to have more of the likes of Kunle Shoname coming into this space and taking over. It's people like that should be running our football. Honestly, run the place like a business. Not that they are always sure that governments, in the government budget for next year, they are getting X billion of naira. If it's a business that they have to go out there to source for fund themselves to run the football,
They won't mismanage.
they won't mismanage. They want the national team to perform well because that is what you are selling. Yes. If you're selling stale bread, you won't get customers, so you won't make money. But if the national team is performing, you'll be able to make money, attract sponsors, attract what's it called? People that want to do business with you, partnership investors, and all that.
I wrote a piece when Remo Stars were beaten Abeokuta 5-1 by Mamelodi Sundowns, and I said Remo Stars still deserve some flowers, even for losing the game. A lot of people criticized me and said, what do I mean? You know, even ex-footballers. I remember the great time I belonged to a particular club, and he said, why are you saying this and all that? And I said, well, the point I'm trying to make is this. Sundowns was established in the 60s. You know, in that team, we have 7 Bafana players. You know, and so for them to come to Abeokuta to beat somebody, the day I got the fixture, I said, it's over for Remo Stars. It's a process. In fact, do you also know that Sundowns also proposed something to Mr. Shoname?
I heard.
Yeah, that they should come and play their game.
Both at home and away in South Africa.
You know, so, but Shoname refused. Now, so, I mean, going back to the point you made, that we need more people like Shoname, you know, involved in our game. But again, what about the economy? If I'm putting 500 million naira in my club side, and I'm not guaranteed, you know, of making like 1 billion naira back. You think I'm going to put my money there?
It's about structure. It's about the structure you put in place. I can tell you for free that Shoname is not running at a loss.
Definitely.
How? He sells players abroad.
He sells players?
He sells players abroad.
His players fly in the airline that he has.
You understand? So he's built a structure around it. Look at what Chief MK Abiola had in those days. If you have the likes of the way Shoname is running his business now, if you now build it around the template where you have the way the Wanyans, Abiolas, and the rest of them. If our football was attractive, it's what percentage of Dangote's business will they be spending to hold a football club?
Talking about the quality of the players, let me come back to TJ. The equalizer. Would you have dealt with that ball the same way you dealt with it? There was a cross that came across the face of the goal. A similar one happened in South Africa. In a similar one, Postecon scored an own goal. How would you have dealt? I mean, was that lack of fundamental, you know, the basics of football, of defending in such a situation?
In such a situation, yeah. You know, especially I was a defender. And there are places that, you know, you don't even toy with the ball, especially when it is like just when you just refer to. No, you don't. You are in the 18, you are, you know, it's dangerous. Anything can happen. So there are some places that you need to make sure you play the ball, clear the ball or whatever.
Or you make a decision quickly.
Exactly. You don't toy with the ball around that side. But you know, it happens. Without mistake, there ain't going to be no goal. So,
but I like us to draw more, you know, because we have like 12 minutes more on this to look at the quality of the players that we have. Let's start from the goal post. We have Nwabali, look at the defense lineup, the midfield. I think we are lacking a general. A general in the Super Eagles.
Exactly.
And of course, people have also said that the moment you take out Osimhen, your team is finished. You know, is it normal for a player to be removed and the entire team structure collapses?
It's not, because football is not a team game. It is not an individual game. So it is not. That one is zero. I don't even believe in that, but it's unfortunate. That's what has been happening. Look at the way the rest of the players played. In the second half, it seems that we have a new team entirely. And I just want to say this again. I think our government, as they said, they are in charge. Most of us believe our government should not involve in sports and all that, but they are. But I think it is the right time now to put square peg in a square
But if I
hole.
think government should let me also tickle you a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember in those days we had Lafa League in
Yeah.
Lagos.
Yeah.
We had NEPA, the banks, there was ACB, there was First Bank,
Stationery
you know,
stores
there was
and all
stationery
those.
stores,
Yes,
and
yes.
all those in Ibadan. We had Exile Batteries,
Yeah.
you know, Housing Corporation, Water Corporation, you know, NEPA Oshogbo, and the rest of them, contesting with the big teams like Shooting Stars, Leventis, and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Now, the banks are even struggling. NEPA is struggling. NMB, do you still have NMB? So, do you think they'll come into football, run on football, if they're not breaking even in their original business? You think they'll come in?
Well, I don't.
Yaraji?
Yeah. Don't forget the fact that when South Africa decided to look deep into football, they invited some teams from outside South Africa, some teams from, you know, Europe, who kind of invested in South Africa.
I remember Ajax.
So they use them like their, you know, feeder teams. They put money in there. If they have any good player there, they can take the player. It's like you have your production company outside your immediate environment, where it's cheaper to run and all that.
Yeah.
Because of the arrays of, you know, talent we have, Tunde Desu, may you so rest in peace. If we have,
he's still alive, my brother.
he's alive.
He's alive, Tunde Desu is his brother.
Oh my God, may he live longer. You know, if we still have a 10 of him going about scouting and doing all that, some of us are, you know, lucky to have met him, you know, God looked into and invited to come and try your luck. National Stadium is wasting away now. In Ogun State, we have how many stadiums? They are not all functioning. Understand?
Yes.
These are incubators for talents. That was why I said all this money-making football academy,
Yes.
you know, is not really effective as the way it should be. Now, if there's a match in the stadium now, and we are playing a local set somewhere, you see Okada men parking to look at the set than come to the stadium, even if you are not charging anything. It's all gone. The interest is gone. Motivation is gone. Our boys will now tell you all Chelsea players, all Arsenal players.
Exactly.
What happened? Now you now bring foreigners to come and play for us, and you expect us to. They are foreigners. Because some of them,
They have Nigerian blood.
thank you. Thank you. They realize that because there are a lot of holes, you know, gaps to be filled.
Yes.
And they came in and it's like automatic. We have a foreign coach, we have foreign players, we have, what do you expect? We need to come back to the basics. Let's start looking for, you know, the talent here. Let them start to look for abroad, not abroad coming to look for them. And that's, I think that's one of the
I think
solutions.
there's clearly ignorance, you know, even in public space. You know, I've always used this example. When Babatunde Raji Fashola was Lagos State Governor, he was approached, you know, and some people actually pressured him into raising a state team for Lagos State. He said no, that he was going to develop football economy in Lagos. And he went to Agege, developed Agege Stadium, and he developed some other spaces. And all of a sudden, MFM came out. We had Sparta, we had racing, and all of that. And each time MFM was playing at Agege Stadium, it was a big economy, you know. Now, he also said something about incubators, our stadia, you know. But what is actually wrong with us as a country, you know, as a people? Mr. Gonzalo, maybe because we have these ideas. Look at the idea Elijah has brought up, you know.
Yeah.
But why are ideas like this not actually flowing?
I think to a large extent, more than helping, politics has bastardized a lot of things for us.
Yeah.
Especially in the area of sports. You see,
Yes, sir.
if the governments are being sincere, they should hands off sports and let people run them like businesses. Let somebody take off Agege Stadium and run it as a business, generate fund and maintain it. You see the difference. But because there are too many political interests at play, look at Abuja National Stadium. Look at the National Stadium in Lagos. You know, let's privatize most of these things. Our electricity, when we're having challenges with NEPA and everything, when it was unbundled and then you have private investors coming, what are we seeing now? You understand? The same thing with telecoms. Let them do the same thing with the banks. Let them do the same thing with sports. Let them do the same thing with sports. Government will spend money with renovating stadiums every year. It's not being used. It's overgrown by grass. They budget money for the maintenance.
But people like you that are appointed as special advisors to governors.
Yes.
And they don't get to tell the governors. Because for me,
there's a difference between you being a special advisor and talking to your principal and your principal listening to you. There are two different things. You understand? The people, they make special advisors because those spots are to be filled. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know our politicians, especially our state chief executives, they run like emperors.
Okay, as we're closing gradually, let's begin to, say our final words. Alaji, your final words, because this is not an interview we could finish in 2 hours, 3 hours. It's so huge. But what do we need to do, as a people? Because those who are in power, in position of authorities, it's easy for a governor to appoint somebody as a special advisor, and your special advisor cannot enter your bedroom to tell you straight into your face and say, Your Excellency, we are not doing well in this regard. But what do you do in this kind of confusion?
First, let's get it right that paid advice, free advice is at the choice of whoever you're advising.
Okay, paid advice versus free advice.
If you're paying me to advise you, or I'm giving you advice for free, you still have the right to take the advice. It's not by force. Now, I'm glad that my brother is here, and we also have my other brother here. I'm going to challenge you guys. We have a stadium called Mudashiru Lawal. It's wasting away.
Ashiru.
Ashiru. It's wasting away. Let us try and sit and do a memo or write or do a contract and tell the state to leave that stadium for us. Let's bring it up. Let's start using it. With your experience, with your advice, and let's see where we can go. So let's practice.
TJ, Stadium, we played in that stadium. We were a terror to defenders, to attackers. When you go back there, how does it make you feel? Because that was a theater for Ogun State people. Then, how does it make you feel?
I'm telling you, I think at times I go to that stadium, I don't believe that's MKO Abiola Stadium. I'm sorry, Mudalawa Stadium, where we played. That was the place we played the first time the African Cup of this Abiola Babes and one team from the Togo or whatever.
Dragons?
Yeah, Dragons.
The Republic.
Exactly, representing the country. So, but look at the stadium now. So, please, I want to say this, and I think it's one of those things that have been bastardizing our sports and other stuff. Let's start putting square peg in square hole, round peg in round hole. If you see people running sports, especially football in this country, people who have no clue or knowledge about it.
But the federal government started is appointed Shewiko as chairman of National Sports Commission and our brother Bukola Pade as DG. These are square pegs in square holes. Diko used to be with the NFF, vice president. Olopade was commissioner here for 6-7 years.
Where?
Are they not square pegs?
As far as I know, I'm telling you and sincerely, and I know how many times Odegwami has contested to be FA chairman or whatever, or all of them like that. I don't know. These are people who are, if you have not gone through something, you won't know where it pitches. Yeah. So if you say you just like the game, you go there. These are professionals. I'm not even talking about myself, but when you look at Oshegun Odegwami, look at Adoke, look at a whole lot of them like that who even played this game before us. Educated people, don't just put footballer there to do it. No, that's not what we're saying. But I think it's right time. If you see, for the past years, it's never been like that. You never see ex-man or woman to go there and run.
Yeah, I know, gentlemen.
Qualified one.
I love us to do a second part 2 of this interview because it's really a feeling that we shouldn't go, but we have to go. We must thank you so much, Mr. Victor Gonzalo, all the way from Lagos, sports entrepreneur. Well, definitely we'll engage you more in subjects like this in the future. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome, sir.
Alaji Demola Ibrahim, I know that you are always loaded. You just threw a proposal on the table now.
Yes, sir. Approve.
Approve.
Yes,
thank you so much for coming.
Yes,
Gaddafi.
Yes, sir.
TJ, thank you so much for also being here. All right, that's the lot we could take on today's program, New Dawn. We've discussed the fiasco of Super Eagles. Nigeria will not be at the next World Cup finals. I feel very sad because even for us in this industry, we have to go to sleep, next year when other countries of the world are playing in USA, Canada, and Mexico. Well, it's sad. That's what we have to deal with. Okay, it's time for us to go. And we've just been told that we will continue the interview.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, if you continue the interview, let me go back to Mr. Gonzalo.
Yes,
sometimes we come with ideas like this. Alaji Demola Ibrahim came up with the idea of the state government releasing the Mudalawa Stadium to private individuals to run, But sometimes these ideas don't get to the table of the governor. They don't get to the table of the governor, So you don't think the governors are not sometimes the problem, but those who actually run the sector in their states.
So this is where I'll put the challenge to people like yourself, because for people like myself and Alaji, we might not have the platform to put this thing out there where the governors can see it and all that. But for media people like yourself, when you hear things like this and you broadcast them or you publish them, it might just get to the attention of the governors or the people managing these things. But I just want to quickly go back to something you raised the other time about what Egbon Tajudisu said about having square pegs in square. I think maybe these guys that are managing sports, if they feel threatened by the fact that ex-internationals are coming to take their jobs and all that, I also think that a way to look at this is, even for the federal government, there's a council of states where you have retired former head of states and the rest of them coming in at critical time to hold a meeting, and you can have a board of trustee or a league of elders, so to speak, just a caption for it. Invite ex-internationals who, like you mentioned, are educated and exposed and have the intellectual wherewithal to put things in place. So, there can be like a board of trustee who oversees this thing and play advisory roles to our current administrators. You see, the truth is, Nigeria is a very big country. We're a big country and we know there's a lot of money in our sports. So the tendency for people to want to, protect their space and want to say, this is our own budget and the rest of them. Nobody's coming to take the money from them, but please take advice from these older people, like you mentioned, Adoki Amisemaka, Shembo Tembani, and the rest of them. People who have played this game, who have a bit of experience. You can have entrepreneurs like Shule Shonami and the rest of them also in that advisory council, so they can chart a roadmap towards. Because let me tell you something, put it on record. We are saying it today again. We are sad Nigeria did not qualify for the next World Cup. If care is not taken, we won't qualify for 2030.
Yes. Okay, now I've been told that we could take this to 11 a.m. So we have like another 25 minutes to actually run this. But I'm very confident that the gentlemen I have here are quite resourceful. Let's go back to the roots. For me, it's also been a question I've been trying to ask. The roots of the matter. I think there is a need for us as a country to understand the value of sports. The current leadership of the NSC came and they said they want to make sports a national asset.
Okay.
Because if as a country, if you don't understand the value of sports, you're not going to be intentional. Nigeria lost the hosting right to, I think, India for Commonwealth Games recently, and investigating it, we got to know that what Commonwealth Games, owners are asking for is that we need to put in place, we need to have a facility that has a rail system from the town that runs into it. Yeah. It's a facility that has, hotels, that has other facilities, just like we have here in Ikenne and all that. But the biggest stadium that we have in Nigeria today, apart from Nest of Champions in Uyo, is the Abuja National Stadium. It's in the state of disrepair. So I think we still don't understand the value of sports. What do you want to use sports to do? When governors campaign, when those who want to be governors, those who want to be local government chairmen, those who want to be president, when they campaign, they don't even campaign telling us that we're going to do this with sports. We don't see their roadmap for sports. Alaji.
Right. You see, sports is under entertainment.
Yes.
I'm going to take you out of one part of entertainment. When we were growing up, we have a lot of artists from America, a bit from England. And every time we have a party, we can play their, records for 6 hours. And we're not spent. Then we're so sure about what they do that Ben Bruce and family start bringing them from America to come and entertain us here. Reverse is the case now. Now, Nigeria in the global, we're hot. Afrobeat rules the world. Tell me the impact of the government for that to happen. Government had nothing to do with it. But there is that consciousness, there's that need for these guys to be heard there. The same thing with football. When you talk about football, create all the atmosphere there is, and you don't have customers, it's going to die natural death. Yeah. We need to go back to the foundation. Students loving football, watching football. Now, let me tell you something. There's a pattern that really thrilled me some years back. When Rashidi Yekini retired and came back to Nigeria. He played for Julius Berger,
yeah.
And he played for Gateway United. You were there. Tell me the crowd in the stadium.
Marvelous. Let me also add to it. I remember that Amokachi also
No, please don't take it away. I want to take it one so that you will know.
Every time, I covered Gateway United FC between 2003 for like 18 years. I was with them. Anytime we went out to play, he was also team manager of Gateway United Club there. Anytime we went to anywhere, fans will just
because there's a brand,
and they'll be saying, "We want to see Yakini, Yakini."
That is a brand. So we need to start creating this brand. Now, Gateway United, who are the players there? We know nothing about them. We need to see them as a brand and package them so that the innocent ones, the upcoming ones, we have somebody they are coming to see. They've heard so much about him. Understand? Now, let me also tell you this. Okocha, when he moved to Bolton, the first thing Bolton did, apart from his talent, they sold it to the people in that, environment. Players there just don't play for the team. They go to, during the Christmas, they go to hospitals. They have certain things they do for the people they play for. They are available to them. Do you also know that every time two teams are playing, there are some little rats that will match out with them? You think it's accidental? It's a program planned. They're not just selling football. They're selling themselves. They are making themselves available. So they are heroes.
And models.
So we need to start doing that. There's nothing wrong in those that will play for Nigeria to come. They're playing in Abeokuta. They will come 2 days before then and move around, let people see them. Let people have sense of belonging, association. Understand? It is not something that footballers will do. You will employ brand, people to package them so that they will see them as a product. Understand? Because if there is no synergy, I don't know who is playing for me. You have to be extra interested in football to know these guys. How many times do you bring in players, or you bring in players that are still current? You bring them in and sell them as a brand to people that are looking at them at home. It's not accidental that you will see a young Nigerians telling you the price that was paid for a player that plays for Chelsea, where that player came from, how much is being paid. It's packaging. It's product awareness. We need to start seeing football like that. We need to involve those that will pay. If I have a jersey now, signed by all Nigerian players that just, played, I have that jersey in my, possession. Come tomorrow, I know I can get 500,000 if I sell that jersey. We are bringing brands and giving values to those brands.
But the Nigerian fan does not want autograph.
No, you assume that. No, you assume that. Because it's not in their nature. We start to create that.
It's not in their culture.
Yeah, we have to create that. You just don't start telling Nigerians what the football is like now if they can't feel it. The taste of pudding is in the eating.
It's in the eating. TJ, in your playing days, did you have such a relationship with the fans? Anytime you went to the market or anywhere, did you have it? I mean, I know your playing career spanned from, you played for Leventis,
yes,
you came to play for Abiola Babes, and for the national team.
Yeah.
Did you have such, the kind of atmosphere that allowed you just to paint?
I do, sincerely, I do. Especially in Ogun State, in Abeokuta, I do, in Lagos.
Even Aruna in Lagos said that was the only thing that kept him alive after his playing.
I do, and I enjoy it, and until tomorrow, I still.
What does that actually make? How does that actually make a player feel?
Feel good. I'm telling you.
If you are liked by people that you play for and all that, how does that make you feel as a player?
Feel good, real good. And at the end of the day, when I eventually got that scholarship from Chief MP Abiola to travel to America and further my education, so each time I come home, the type of welcome and whatever the fans give till tomorrow, I still enjoy it, and I think that one is something I will never forget. Yeah,
but I think it was possible, Mr. Gonzalo. It was possible in that era, simply because anytime you were watching Abiola Babes, you were watching the entire backline of Abiola Babes was the backline of the Super Eagles. There was Eboigbe in the middle.
Exactly.
There was Omokaro, Isa Shofoluwe, on the left. So inside Mudalawa Stadium, you were seeing the national team of Nigeria. And after the game, you could go to their camp in Obantoko to see them and all of that. Yeah. But we don't see that anymore this time, because these players, they just fly in and they fly out.
Like Alhaji has said, they don't have to live in Nigeria for them to create affinity with the fans. They don't have to live in Nigeria. It's a conscious and intentional marketing packaging that make this happen. They come home for holidays. They come home for vacations. The NFF can organize meet and greets. Doesn't necessarily have to be them walking into the market and all of that. You understand? Everybody's on social media. Those who cannot be there physically can see what they are doing. They can take them to orphanages. You understand? They can take them to a small football academy. You understand? Where they can meet fans. 30 minutes, 1 hour, meet and greet, talk to them, exchange whatever, let them sign stuff for them and give them as giveaway stuff, jersey, how much are jerseys, how much are face caps, how much are wristbands, these are the things we're talking about. But you see, the NFF, what they need to do, like I keep saying, is to run that place like a business. If you have a multi-millionaire business, you have an advertising agency, you have a PR agency, you understand? You have a social media agency. So you have people who handle specific roles for you. So every year they give you their marketing plan for the year. So first quarter or Easter, We're seeing Basi, Iwobi, and Osime. We're visiting 4 orphanages. We're visiting whatever. We're doing this, we're doing that. You understand? There are a lot of activities happening around Nigeria. A lot of activities. So you can have a marketing plan around these things. If you go to the NFF social media handle, you'll be disgusted. Nigeria will play, you don't have updates there. But we have the pictures, the quality of the photos they use are poor. They lift pictures from other people's pages, and those ones will be attacking them. Then you don't have a right to use my picture. If you have a media agency, that's their work. That's their work. They follow the player. Once you're opening camp, they are there. They take pictures, they take interviews, they take short takes, they take short videos. They are posted. That's their work. They don't need to watch the matches. When you, as a media professional, when you go to cover an event, you are not there to enjoy the event. You are there to report the atmosphere. You understand? So we get carried away. You see somebody.
We have football administrators who are aware, well educated. Let me give you an example. Amaju Pinnick.
Yes.
He was chairman of Warri Wolves. Later, he became chairman of Delta State Sports Commission. Then he became NFL president. And after that, he went on to become CAF vice president. Now he's advisor to Infantino, president. This is somebody that has awareness. The man that is currently NFF chairman worked under him. You know, and I'm sure, I hope that he actually learned some things from him.
Do you see a sense of purpose in both administrations? Did you see a sense of purpose in both administrations?
I'm interviewing.
So it's not a matter of being experienced. It's a matter of having direction and a sense of purpose. You don't understand. You don't have to have worked with Warri Wolves, worked with FIFA, worked with CAF. You just need to know how to put the right things in place. It's not rocket science. It's as simple things. That's why I keep saying, see, the best way to run our sports is to have people who are businessmen come in and run them like business. I keep saying, people like Kule Shoname, let them come in and run that place like a business. If you are running a business, sir, sorry to cut you short, if you are running a business, you will not be sentimental. So I have a business to run. I have KPIs to meet. And you are calling me to tell me to take your younger brother as one of our personnel who is not up to task, who is not professionally qualified, or who does not have what it takes. I'm shortchanging myself. At the end of the day, you call me, oh yeah, so what did you guys do? You understand? Would you hold an airline and say because somebody is from my mom's village, but he has a flying license and it's not fully, you put him in the cockpit?
Okay, let's get more practical. Alhaji Demola Ibrahim, with all the ideas, I've known him for years. And now, let's paint a scenario. He wants to contest as chairman of the Ogun State Football Association. You'll be shocked that some people will raise voices and say, we don't know him. He's not from our clan, you know, and all that. You know, I think that's the dilemma for me. I mean, for instance, if you want to aspire and become FA chairman of the state, you know, are you aware of the challenges you're going to face?
First and foremost, I don't want to be. I would rather be the brain box behind any chairman. Let me wake you guys up to something. I know we all know about it. Dundee United. Dundee. A lot of teams from Brazil, they came to Nigeria to play. The same national stadium. We used to have players from other continents, other countries, to play friendly with us. Sometimes if we don't have the right team, we say something 11. You know, we bring players from here and there to play with them.
11.
Right. Do you know the reason for that? I don't want your answer. Do you also realize that in some days, there used to be Manchester United or recently, maybe another 10 years ago and all, they came here when they were doing their tour to play in Nigeria with another English team. You know why they came? They got the wrong information that they had a lot of fans there, fantastic fans. And they came to entertain their fans with the intention of making money off them. I remember Alex Ferguson said, I was wrongly informed about Nigeria. He came here, the stadium wasn't as filled as it was, as he expected. You know why? Because they are business-minded. Television rights, they want to improve on that. Asia loves football, they will go on Asia Tour.
Asia Tour, yeah.
It's about business, nothing personal. We need to start having that business idea. Look at how we can brand these players. Put them out there for people to give them values. Let them be available. Let them be football ambassadors. Let's see them walking the streets and kids walking behind them and shouting them. We used to have songs for our yesterday heroes. Aruna Jowo.
That's true.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
What happened?
I mean, there was a time at the MQ Sports Arena, I was almost tempted to start singing, "Oh, we are saying,
give us more,
because there was nobody around me to actually understand that song. National Stadium in Lagos. Yeah. Some people said that the current generation of players cannot even play in that stadium. Can they?
Do they even have that emotional connection to the stadium and to the fans?
Yes, I remember Nigeria against Cameroon. 2000 Nations Cup final. You know, Cameroon went ahead, took a toe scored, then I think Mboma got another goal.
Yeah.
We got Okocha got one of the goals back.
Yes.
Yeah.
While he was celebrating, he was telling the fans that no be here. Then they go beat us, no be here. That is the attachment. Do we have such sense anymore?
No, we don't. Everything is gone. Though.
It's gone.
There's not even no national stadium in Lagos.
It's gone.
Everything is gone. No, we don't have it anymore. It's unfortunate, but
it's
that's
sad.
it's sad.
Well, now that we know what the problem is, we need to start
Everything
getting
is gone.
solutions to it.
Everything is gone.
Are you aware? Are you aware that you know, one spoke about having youth from secondary school. Are you aware that even our under 17 teams now, people bring their children from abroad?
Yeah. Now.
The under 17 that's meant to recruit talent from schools and the rest of them. Now people bring their children from abroad to influence. They are being
well, I think it's also about competitions for us and not development. Because those in the NFF, for me, are only interested in traveling. You know, I'm sure a lot of dreams have been shattered because of the extra codes that will have come to their pocket because we are not going to the World Cup. You know, it's more of you know, journeys, competitions. Because I mean, to also buttress the point you are making, we've won under 17 World Cup 5 times. You know. And we're not winning anymore. And if you look at...
we're not even qualifying
again. The players that won the tournament for us were players who were actually raised here.
Yes. That's the only way you can... That's the only way you can win some tournaments.
Yeah.
Those boys would have been together, they would have known each other from the under 13.
Exactly.
They would have played some competition against each other from under 13. You do some pictures of Iwobi, some pictures of Iheanacho.
When it was young?
At maybe under 10, under 11, even that of Osime. They knew each other from playing local competitions against each other.
We play jail now. One team will bring another.
I think the foundation really needs to be looked at. The foundation is very critical.
Grassroots.
And we need to have...
Not just talk about continuity. I know NFF at a point did something. They said future Eagles. Under 15, future Eagles. Lagos also did junior league,
during
but I think at some point that policy stopped.
Yes.
Because
that's where the politics we're talking about comes in. A change of administration, people come with new ideas, they discard old ideas.
That was from it was during Fashola time.
Government.
Which goes back to those who run public offices.
Exactly.
I've not seen any local government chairman in Ogun State, in Abeokuta, who has come to say, okay, we'll do a tournament for Alake, for instance, like Obako.
I think there's a competition they just ended yesterday. part of the coronation anniversary for the Alake. I think Abeokuta North local government did something.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
they had the tournament. They had the tournament against Abeokuta North.
Okay.
They had the tournament from I think it's.
They also have something like Lishabi too.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I think those ones are one-offs. I'm talking
Yes, yes.
about regular,
consistent.
yearly tournaments, because it's where people like you actually call. I mean, let me ask you, those schools, St. Finbar's, Baptist Academies, and are they still producing such players?
No more.
Those are the days of Principal's Cup.
Exactly, Principal's Cup, and that's why I said there was process then, because it was you have to graduate from secondary school to the Flying Eagles to the Guinea. That process was but now the reverse is the case.
I'm scared. Mr. Gonzalo actually voiced my fear, and it's about 2030 World Cup finals. That we're not even likely to qualify with the way things are going. But I think first and foremost we have to do well at the next Nations Cup final.
Exactly.
Do you see us doing very well at the Nations Cup? I am of the opinion that Eric Chell should be allowed to continue, because we're even stuck on him. We can't sack him now. We are playing AFCON next month.
Too short.
You know, the time is too short. But are you optimistic? What do you think he should do? Yes, I was going to, because when Keshi went to 2013 Nations Cup, it took 17 rookies to that tournament. Can Chell afford to do that? Some people are saying that the likes of Ekong should go and all of that. I don't believe in that. But for you as an expert, you think he should tinker the team completely and take fresh players to Morocco?
To Morocco. Well, I don't know if that can still be possible now. But the thing is that they've abandoned our home-based players too much, and it's affecting us. And I said earlier on, during our own time, you play youth fund, from youth fund to so there was process. So by abandoning the league is useless, because I don't know why we are having league. There is no single player.
Our league players went to Chan and they lost to Sudan. They performed woefully. They were woeful. But that doesn't also remove the fact that
you can have one or two. Identify one or two talents.
The other time I said we have 20 Premier League teams in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Let's assume that each team signs 20 players. I think we have 400 players in the league. So can't we also bring out solid five out of 400 to the national team? Is it possible, Mr. Gonzalo?
It is very possible. I actually think that the idea of the home-based Super Eagles is something they need to pay more attention to. Whenever the league is not in session, they should camp these players together and let them be together and play together. Even play some local clubs if possible, you understand? But the truth is that once there's no competition, the national team is on holiday. The Chan team is on holiday. It's when Chan is coming that they start recruiting and selecting one or two or two.
I think I agree with you.
Yes,
you used to come then in Ife, the national team.
Yes,
used to come in OAU, then University of Ife for months, like 1-2 months before major tournaments.
Yeah.
Do you also share that idea of keeping having a stable, constant national team from local
is the solution, but you need to brand them. Remember, even when we have our players camped, see people who go to the field and see them practice.
It's true.
A lot of people, you think there's a match going on.
Yeah. I used to watch the training of Abella Babes here.
Exactly. Because they have a brand, they have values. So camping them is important, but let's brand these players. Let them look like, stars.
Well, to some people that are watching us, we're just winking in the dark. These things don't matter to them.
It doesn't anymore.
They don't matter to them, and that's the big worry for me. We keep talking, and some of us that talk, we are tired of talking. In fact, they've also labeled some of us that we're just talkers. We can't actualize some of these things. But again, that's the challenge with you, for you gentlemen. Alaji has brought the proposal to the table.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Maybe
You have to
after
give
now.
approval. You should be approved. No, I'm telling you.
Okay, now look at
thank
it.
you
30
very
minutes
much.
has also flown away,
Yes,
so we have to
ma'am.
go, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
TJ, once thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Alaji, it's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And of course, Mr. Victor Gonzalo.
You're welcome,
Thank
sir.
you so much
You're welcome,
for being
sir.
on this program. That's the program. We've had to extend this program because of the topic. And I'm sure it's not going to end here. We'll still talking football. We will keep talking about our failure to go to the World Cup, and maybe someday we'll get it right. My name is Biodo Alabi. Thanks so much for watching us. Bye for now.